Kratom. Have you heard of it? I hadn't either until this week, and I wanted to talk about it and bring more awareness to this cause because I think it's something extremely important, especially in the realm of mental health, and especially people who need help with chronic pain. Because for those of you who don't know, painkillers, oxycodone, drugs that relieve pain is a very big epidemic here in the US. Which is one of the main reasons why marijuana is something that some states are starting to legalize, is because there's a lot of health benefits to smoking weed. That being said, kratom is a leaf stemming from coffee. It's been used in southwest Thailand and in those Asian countries for quite some time. Hundreds of years, in fact, of being able to help people boost their alertness, energy levels. It's been used as a dietary supplement for many years. It's a non-additive, and it helps people wean off of painkillers. And that's the biggest point that I want to make here, is oxycodone. These subscription painkillers are not only extremely expensive, but they're highly addictive, and we have an epidemic here in the US of people getting addicted to those things. And here's the thing, I'm not against people using those types of substances, because I think almost all drugs should be legalized. But the point is, the health risk of when you get highly addicted to these opioids can actually kill you and have extremely high risk of death. So what a lot of people have been doing, specifically veterans and people with chronic pain, is that they've been using kratom as a way to heal, or not heal, but, relieve their chronic pain, which can help them wheeze off of those prescription addictive drugs that the US just loves to keep producing for us. So what the DEA wants to do is they want to come along and say, hey, the drug, we don't know anything about this drug, but we're going to classify it as a level 1 drug, which is going to be categorized as LSD, heroin, ecstasy, and all of these other drugs, which some do have side effects and are really bad for you, but others really don't. This is a serious problem. Why is it anytime we find something, or there is something for hundreds of years that's been using to help people with medical pain, that has been shown that is not an addictive thing, that can actually truly help people and has health benefits, the DEA has to come along and misrepresent it simply because it's something that helps people. At this point, I'm convinced that the DEA is nothing full of a bunch of 50-year-old curmudgeons who literally just sit around and say this is bad for you, despite scientific evidence of the contrary. They do the same thing with marijuana. They think marijuana is the worst possible drug you can possibly take. They ignore all scientific evidence. They release statements on how it's a horrible thing. They completely ignore all scientific basis and studies that have been done for these types of drugs, and that's all they continue to do. Now, the obvious problem with banning kratom here is the fact that if it gets banned, opioids are going to be more heavily used and more deaths are going to occur by the use of this drug because they're not going to have anything to substitute that is a non-additive, that's non-addictive. And of course, more veterans, this is the biggest thing because my dad served in the military, that fucking pisses me off, is when we can't give veterans the proper help that we need, PTSD, anxiety, and all that shit, because we keep banning and making things even harder for them to obtain for these veterans who have mental issues, who need these types of things for help to live a normal life. It's so mind-blowing to me how the DEA completely disregards people, the lives of people, things that can help save lives. They disregard it, and at this point I'm starting to think maybe the DEA just wants people to get arrested, to become addicted to these types of painkillers. Maybe they're working with giant corporations, so these corporations won't lose money when weed becomes more legalized, and more people resort to that than their fucking pain addictive pills. And so the reason I'm really making this video is to bring awareness to kratom, and how it's something that you should in fact support. You can look up the drug on Google, there's a lot of health benefits to it. It does help a lot of people. And the main argument is that it helps people off painkillers, which is a good thing. So there's a petition right now, it needs 100,000 signatures. It is linked down below in the description that I want you to go fucking sign. It goes into more detail about this kratom thing, and why you should be a supporter of kratom. And I think it's at 80,000 signatures right now, or almost 90,000. And it needs 100,000 signatures to go to officially to the White House. And that is what I need you to do, is go sign this shit, so we can possibly save more lives and help people with mental health and issues that they need help with without making their lives more miserable because they can't get the proper help that they need because the DA keeps fucking them in the ass.